ones, empaths. A subscriber reached out and wanted to know more about the red and green flags to look out for. So I've compiled a list of some that stuck out to me as potential red and green flags to look out for. So I'll get into the list, but like red flags to look out for, the obvious one I would say is lacking empathy. You know, there's no emotional intimacy. They can't feel, you can just tell that they don't care about how you feel. Like you can see this early on. It could be something as small as the way that the messages are going back and forth. You can suss them out that someone lacks empathy. You can suss it out pretty soon on. Maybe not. You might. That's why I always say don't get too deep into these relationships that you're possibly getting into, like being intimate and that too quickly. Get to know the person first. Always get to know the person first. But look out for if they lack empathy. I know that's an obvious one, but just look out for signs of them lacking empathy. You've got experience from the past with your ex or whoever you was entangled with who was a narcissist. So if they strike any of the signs that you saw before in those where they lacked empathy and there's no emotional intimacy, look out for that. Another important sign is they have an unrealistic sense of entitlement. So more or less they expect you to cater to their desires and may get angry when corrected. You know, they constantly want you to appease them. And how we fell into the trap before is when we experienced anger or rage, the narcissistic rage from our ex or whoever you was entangled with, we kind of appeased them and started to walk on eggshells. But now it's just, you know, cut the cord. That's why I'm saying don't get in too deep with these people, you know, just pull out. Like, just say, nah, I've seen something in them that's not right, you know. Another sign that is one is they need to be the center of attention. They get unreasonably distressed if ignored, you know. You might be busy at work or occupying your day. They send you a message and they need your attention, you know. They just need your attention and it's possessive, you know. If you see this type of behavior, just get out, you know, get out don't get in too deep with these people. They're all around us, these narcissists. Just don't get in too deep with them, right? Another obvious sign is they're arrogant. They display arrogant behavior and attitude. You can just, you can pick up on that. Someone being arrogant, someone having attitude, you know. If you see any one of these signs, I would say get out. That's what I'm saying. You might not see all of them. You might see some, because remember, they've got the mask on. They've got their mask on. They're trying to hide it as well. So you might just see beneath the cracks. You know, you might just see a few, one or two of these. But I would say one or two of these is enough to say this person is toxic. You don't even need to stay around them to actually diagnose them and say they're a full-blown narcissist. But these are toxic traits that they will display, you know. So as I just said, they will display arrogant behavior and attitude. Another sign is they exploit and take advantage of others for their own gain, you know. So you might hear them talking about a scenario that involves someone else, and you can get a sense like, hold on a minute, you were taking advantage of that person. You were just out for your own gain, you know. Or you might see them trying to take advantage of you, you know, exploit and take advantage of you. And if you sense any of these, just get out, you know. Another sign is they're envious of others. You can tell when someone's envious, you know. They don't wish well for you. You know, so just look out if they're envious of others. Another sign, an obvious sign, is them, the love bomb. You need to look out for the love bomb. Right, if someone's getting too, you know, you've just met and they're future faking, they're love bombing, they're blowing smoke up your arse, so to speak. You know, I know you might because you might have been lonely for some time or whatnot. I know you might feel like you need this love, but it's not. It's toxic love. It's a love bomb, you know that just overwhelming amounts of texts or phone calls, and they're just constantly love bombing you and praising you, and too soon. No one acts like that too soon. Narcissists act like that too soon. If you meet a genuine person, which I'm going to get into now, it will be different, So I'll get into the green flags now, right? What we need with our future partner or whoever, friend or whatever, is effective communication. We need reciprocation and reciprocity. We need there to be a mutual understanding between us and effective communication. So you're able to communicate well. They can explain their feelings to you. You can explain your feelings to them. And you understand each other's points of view. And there's reciprocity and reciprocation. Another side green flag is someone being mentally and emotionally healthy. You see, these narcissists we dealt with in the past, we can tell, if you're looking back in retrospect, I know hindsight's a wonderful thing, but looking back, they weren't mentally and emotionally healthy, The next sign, the green flag to look out for, is they maintain their individual identity. So they don't change. They don't change when they're around people. They are who they are, You see them around someone else, they're the same person. They're around you, they're the same person, and they hold to their own. Like they've got their own individual identity. These narcissists are snakes. They impersonate. They change when they're around people. So just look out for it. Self-awareness. So they're aware of how their actions might affect you, or they don't want to harm you. They're self-aware of how they're aware of their actions. They're self-aware. So that's another sign to look out for. Obvious sign to look out for is they show empathy towards you. They care about you. They show care, consideration. They don't want to hurt you. We don't like to hurt people, empaths. We don't like to hurt people. But if we meet someone who's showing empathy, that's a great sign to look out for. They have a greater sense of purpose. So you can see that maybe they're not perfect, because we're not all perfect, but they're becoming a better version of themselves. And you might have come into their life for them to become this great version who they're going to become, They're becoming a better version of themselves. If you're around someone and you feel less stressed, that's another sign. If you feel less stressed, you don't have anxiety, you feel like it's reducing your stress to some degree, being around this person, that's a nice sign. That's a green flag to look out for, because it shows you're in good company. Another green flag is to have equality in the relationship. So you both respect each other's part that you play in the relationship. You both respect that you're equal coming in this. They're not trying to devalue you or make you feel less than. You have equality in the relationship. Ultimately, another green flag is they have respect for you. They respect you. You want to have respect. If someone doesn't respect you, they're going to treat you like trash. They're going to, do all sorts of things to try and mess with you. Another green flag to look out for is they have anger control. They can control their anger. We all get angry from time to time, but they have a sense of control of anger, These narcissists, they can never put a lid on it. They're like a kettle, man, just boiling away. So, if you meet someone who can control their anger, that's a good sign. And lastly, you embrace each other's differences. You understand that both of you were raised in different ways. I don't know what their family life's like. They don't know what your family life's like. But you were raised in a certain way with morals and principles and whatnot. I'm not saying you had the greatest childhood, but I'm saying you were raised in the way that you were raised. They were raised in the way that they were raised. So naturally, you're going to be different. And it takes time for you to work together to try and make this work, you know. You need to work together to try and make this become something. But ultimately, what I say, the biggest sign out of all of these that I listed, right, is the reciprocation and the reciprocity. That's ultimately what I believe. Like, you're going to tell. If you meet someone, a narcissist, say, they don't reciprocate what you say. They often convert conversations back to themselves, okay? They often want to talk about themselves, and everyone likes to talk about themselves maybe to some degree, but it's a bit different with a narcissist. It's a bit excessive, you know? You'll be trying to explain your point, and you might see that, you know, you'll be talking and you see their eyes glaze over, if anything. They glaze over. They're not listening. They're not listening. They're not reciprocating what you say. There's nothing there. They're dead, you know? So if you meet someone in the future who, like, you're talking about something, they reciprocate it and they give you feedback and then they give you some insight into what you're talking about, it's a healthy communication. So that's ultimately what you need. Ultimately is a healthy communication between two individuals. If this healthy communication is not there, it's not going to work out. And it's very rare to find someone, even in our own families, there's certain degrees of toxic conversations. Like, there's not a healthy conversation that we have with even friends, right? So you know what a healthy conversation is about. Look out for a healthy conversation with reciprocation, reciprocity, and just don't get too deep with these people too quickly, you know? Don't get too deep. Don't let someone love bomb you and you fall into the narcissistic trap again just because you've been feeling lonely or whatnot. That's why I always say, take some time alone. After the narcissistic abuse, spend some time alone. The longer you spend time alone, the more likely it is, I believe, that when you do meet someone, you're not just gonna let anyone in your life. You're not gonna tolerate it. You're gonna have your own life going for you, you know? That's why I always say, find your purpose, find your meaning, you know? So when you meet someone, they're not going to be acting all, like I said earlier, they're not going to be acting, sorry, let me get the notes. They're not going to have this unrealistic sense of entitlement. Like, you know, say you've got a job or you're running your business. They're not going to be getting in the way of that. They're going to be helping to build you up or giving the time you need to build it up. It's like, if I met someone now, they need to respect that I'm doing YouTube. So if a day that I'm responding to comments or I'm doing sessions, I might not be able to meet up with you because I've got other priorities, you know, or I'm making videos. I've got other priorities, and if they don't respect that and they don't understand that I've got other things to do, then they're not for me. You see what I'm saying? And people are very needy in this time and age, right? And narcissists are very needy. They need your undivided attention always. They need your supply. So if you're around someone who's toxic, like, who can't give you your space, we all need space. Space is healthy in relationships. You need space. You need time apart, right? Don't fall into one of these toxic relationships where you're around each other 24/7. You know, you're constantly with each other. You know, you want to find something where there's a balance, you know. So I hope this helps. Shout out to the subscriber. I hope this video helps. There's more I could have added to the list, but realistically, there's only so much I can say with words. I believe that now in you, there is a discernment. There is an ability to judge well, which is what discernment means. There's an ability to judge well on who you let into your life now. You know, the main thing, like I said, is you want to have reciprocation. If someone's not, the narcissist never reciprocated what we said, and we didn't see it at the start. They do not reciprocate. in arguments, in disagreements, in normal conversation. They do not reciprocate what you say at all. You know, you can pour your heart out and they will not reciprocate it. So if you notice these signs of someone not reciprocating it, that's why I think it's the biggest sign that you can look out for. Someone who doesn't reciprocate. You know, if you're having a conversation with someone and you mention, you're talking about, lorries, you're talking about cars or something, right? You know, they'll come back with, oh, this car, something, and they'll add something, they'll add in their 2 cents to your conversation, right? But a narcissist won't. They'll backtrack and just twist the conversation about them again. You know, they're very weird. So I believe that a lot of you are ready and you have it in you to look out for these signs, you know, to look out for these signs because you've been with one. If you see any trait like your ex or like your ex-friend or colleague or business partner or whoever it was, the narcissist involved in your life, family member, if you see any trait like that whatsoever, get the hell out. Don't stay around trying to work out if they're a full-blown narcissist. They're toxic. That's the basically way you got to look at it now. You know, don't stay around someone to work there out like they're a narcissist like we have before. Get out and say if someone's toxic or not, because that's like my situation. I met a few people after the narcissist and I saw toxic things in them, and I wasn't even awakened to narcissistic abuse yet properly, and I saw toxic traits in them from the get-go, and I pulled out. I just got away from them. So that's all you need to look for. If you see toxicity in anyone, get the hell away from them and start afresh, and there's someone else out there better for you. So anyway, thank you for watching today. Please press the like and the subscribe button. If you'd like to donate to the channel, you can find a link in the description box. And if you'd like a one-to-one session with myself, you can also find a link in the description box. Currently, I've got the secondary channel, the spiritual channel. So anyway, I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.